Hey there, Jeff Claubert with the Estes Group, back with you for video number 2, comparing and contrasting cloud deployment scenarios versus hosted applications or hosted environments. So in the first video, we simply defined what is cloud and what is a hosted application, and we used 2 industry standard definitions to define and compare cloud versus hosted. So let's just review real quick. So according to Gartner, cloud is a style of computing where massively scalable, IT-enabled capabilities are delivered as a service to external customers using internet technologies. That was Gartner's. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, had a slightly more functional definition of cloud. They defined cloud computing as a model for enabling convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of resources, meaning servers, storage, underlying applications and support services, and here's the key thing, that can be rapidly provisioned and deprovisioned with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Okay, so those are the definitions of what cloud is, and we said hosted was very different. Hosted was taking exactly what you're doing today, all your software instances, all your licenses, all your underlying support technologies, and just transporting that to someone else's data center and letting them manage it, right? But there's no sharing of resources, there's no massive scalability up or down, none of that. It's what you're doing today, letting someone else manage that. Now there's real value to that for many environments. In this video, we're going to go one step farther, and we're going to go back to NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and we're going to use their model, their 5 essential characteristics of a cloud solution, to compare and contrast on a functional basis cloud versus hosted. So you can understand the difference, and that will enable you to analyze your options with clarity and understanding of how and what makes sense for your business. So the first characteristic, according to NIST, is that cloud is provided as a measured service. It is a utility. Think of it like water, power, or electricity. You know, let's use water as an example. So I'm getting my water from the public water supply. There's a meter on my house or my building, and I pay for what I use. I don't have to worry about it. I have to worry about the underlying infrastructure. All that's taken care of. So that's the essential characteristics of cloud is, while there are many different pricing models, they all essentially come down to you pay for what you use. Now, compare that to a hosted environment. Staying with the water analogy, a hosted environment would be that you still own or rent your own water tank, your own private water tank. It's just for you, as opposed to the utility that everybody's using it. So someone else may manage that water tank for you, make sure that it doesn't leak, make sure that it stays painted and the birds stay out of it. But you have to make sure that you have enough water in there, and that candidly you don't have too much water, right? So if you have too much water that you're never going to use, it's going to get stagnant, and you're going to have to use chemicals to treat it, and it's just going to be expensive. And why would you want to do that, right? But you still have to maintain your own water tank and your own water levels and monitor that, and then you've got to get that water to you, just like in the utility, right? So you're in essence becoming your own utility. So those are the 2 differences, very different between cloud and hosted applications. The second characteristic is that cloud has rapid elasticity. That means that you can scale up and scale down on demand as you need it. Now, most businesses have some form of either calendar-based, seasonal-based, or periodic fluctuations in their business in terms of their peak demand or their low demand, all right? And with cloud, you can scale up or scale down as you need. If you know you're coming into that, you can simply turn up those resources, and you can even burst from a private on-prem cloud up to a public cloud that's called hybrid, and when you're done, you can just deprovision those. It's as simple as going onto an interface. It can even be done automatically through cloud orchestration and automation. You can even burst automatically from private to public. That is cloud. Now compare that to a hosted environment. None of that exists. You contract for a specific set of resources, a specific number of servers, specific amount of storage, network bandwidth, and if you need to make a change to that, well, that's a big deal. First of all, that's a contractual change, so you've got to negotiate that. They have to provision that. It takes time. It is not rapid, and generally they don't like to move. Once they give you more capacity, they generally don't like to, deprovision that capacity. So it is not at all, there's no rapid elasticity involved with a hosted application. Now, the third characteristic has broad network access using internet technologies. That's cloud. It's available anywhere, anytime, any device, anywhere in the world. So think about this. Because of that, you're able to use one central data type or one central data set. So someone on the shop floor with a tablet or a barcode reader can upload that information in real time. You have, from a remote locations, foreign subsidiaries, headquarters versus plants, everybody's using the same data, the same set, and they can get to it anywhere, anytime. Versus hosted, it's very different. Host, you may not even be using internet technologies to access it. You may be using some type of WAN technology like MPLS. You have a very rigid and very controlled set of access. Now that may be by design. There may be some security implications that you want to have that control. So again, I'm not saying cloud or hosted one is better than the other. They're just very different. The fifth and last characteristic is really important. It's resource pooling. So I've kind of talked about this with rapid elasticity, and that with resource pooling, you have an underlying infrastructure that's supporting your applications. However, there's a software layer that provides orchestration and automation. So what actually happens in cloud is you get to abstract the functionality and support of the underlying infrastructure from the applications and workloads you're running, meaning you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's just there. Think of it like an automobile. Pretty much any car anywhere in the world has the same interface, the same steering wheel, the pedals in the same place, and there's very minor differences in terms of where the controls are, knobs and dials and stuff like that. It's very easy to figure out. That's what cloud is, and it's a shared pool. So most of the time, everything fails, right? So nothing's available 100% of the time, but most of the time, this orchestration and automation layer is dealing with server health, storage capacity, where your data's sitting. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's a utility. You just worry about your applications and your workloads, compared to a hosted environment where there's no resource pooling. You're buying a fixed set of assets. So you can see the two are very different. Now, as I said, no one size fits all. There are environments, especially in the manufacturing space, where hosted really does make the most sense. Maybe you've got customizations that just aren't supported in the different cloud type, cloud-based ERP implementations. Maybe you've got complexities, organizational complexities that it makes the most sense for you, or you just want to do it. That's okay. All right? But for many people, cloud provides tremendous advantages. We're agnostic. So at Estes Group, we provide deployment solutions across all three scenarios, on-prem, hosted, and cloud. And as a matter of fact, in a future video, we're going to talk about our cloud-based offer. We're a NetSuite solution provider. They pioneered cloud-based ERP over 10 years ago, and they're the leaders today. And so we chose them, especially when they acquired IQD for their advanced manufacturing module. Now it's a NetSuite product. That was a game changer for us. So I'll talk about that in another video. But we also host other ERP systems that traditionally run on-prem. It makes sense, just outsource that. Let someone else deal with the underlying network and the capabilities, so we can provide that too. The point is that at Estes Group, we've been providing mid-market manufacturing with ERP implementation consulting and support since 2004. Our consultants have implemented the same systems that you're running today or are considering implementing in your business. So we understand manufacturing and distribution process, and so we can help you figure out what's your next best move. Invest an hour with us in a digital transformation review, and let's figure out together how we can move your business and create your own digital transformation. I'm Jeff Claubert, and thanks for watching. We'd love to talk with you.